Okay, so today we have Ride and Leave Them All Behind. Now, I'm coming back to Ride because I named one of their songs as one of my favorite songs that I listened to last year, that I reacted to. And honestly, like I replied to a comment, I just forgot about them. I don't know why, they just left my brain. And, I just forgot about how much I love the Vapor Trail. So we're coming back with Leave Them All Behind, an 8-minute track. I'm sure this is going to be a ride. And anyway, let's get into this, talk about it after. Let's go. play. All right. So Ride, Leave Them All Behind. So I don't even, how do I start? I mean, like I say, I research stuff about the song before I get into it because I don't like to go into a song cold. And just looking at these lyrics and just looking at, I mean, the lyrics I guess aren't really the focal point, I guess you would say, because I did say the bass sounded so heavy, but I mean everything sounded so heavy. Obviously, this was very snare drum heavy. This was, the guitar. I mean, and that's another thing about shoegaze. I mean, obviously, there's always going to be a lot of guitar effects, a lot of distortion, and I mean, I did see a quote. I don't know if it was from Andy Bell or somebody else in the band, maybe Gardner, but they were talking about how they just wanted to make a racket, and I mean, that's what came to mind after this. They made quite the racket, but a good racket, a great racket. I mean, my God! And again, the only song I've ever heard from Ride was, like I said, Vapor Trail, and I mean, this is definitely different. This is a lot. This is bigger. This is bolder, and I mean. It feels like, because I mean, again, when you look at the lyrics, I mean, there's not too many lyrics for an 8-minute 17-second song. There's 3 verses and then the outro there. When they're saying, I think both of them, both Andy and Mark, sing on this. From what I've been told. When they say in the outro, I don't care about the colors, I don't care about the light, I don't care about the truth. I don't care about the truth. And, before that in the 3rd verse, colors shining clear, fading into night. Our grasp is broken. There's nothing we can do. And again, it seems like, it's just the band, especially with the title, Leave Them All Behind. They're talking about their place in the shoegaze scene, I guess you would say. And I mean, the ball, because this was their first single off of their 2nd album, and it was 8 minutes long. I mean, just the balls that release an 8-minute single as your first single from your 2nd album. I mean, that takes a lot. I mean, that takes some cojones. I mean, and to just be like, we're not going to cut it down to 4 minutes or whatever. It's going to be 8 minutes and 17 seconds, and it's still charted very well in the UK, as I see here. I think at number 9, if I recall rightly. But yeah, so just with just everything about this, it just seems like the band was just saying, we're here. We're serious as hell. And we're gonna play our music, and we're gonna we're gonna show other bands of our like or whatever what we're up to, basically, what we are about. And it's just, I don't know, that's what really just comes across for me. And also I have to mention, I forgot, I wanted to mention earlier, but and as I see here on a quote from the band and such, and what inspired the track, but obviously with the beginning with the organ, reminds me of the Who. I would think it would remind many of the Who. Something like Won't Get Fooled Again. My God. And Won't Get Fooled Again. And seeing here on the background of the song and everything, apparently that was the point. I mean, and again, just when you hear that start, it's just like, that's reminiscent of the Who. I mean, that's just what comes to mind. And also that apparently Laws Colbert, I think it's Colbert, maybe Colbert, but I think Colbert, so you said. Anyway, that he said he was listening to a lot of hip hop, funk in the Who, and that Keith Moon was really a big influence on this track. So I just love that, that he just, really took from funk, hip hop in the Who. It's just like, my God. And I mean, again, just the spiraling sounds, it's just so heavy. So it's so much to take in. I mean, that's what like I said about the whole racket thing. It's so much to take in. It's so bold and big. It's just like, Jesus, this is just nuts. And I mean, even now, it's just like, you got to get a couple listens of the song probably just to really, digest it all. It was amazing. I mean, my God, it just really takes you aback. I mean, holy crap. But yeah, this was just an attack on the ears, and it was just beautiful too. It's not like, I don't know, it's just 8 minutes of bliss, really. And I mean, again, Ride is a band that I've just, I've been sleeping on again. And it's just like, I mean, I feel like they probably have so many other great songs too. And it's just like, I just really, and again, I always bring them up. But, with my love of Oasis, and again, how Andy Bell would move on to be the bassist for Oasis. And it's just like, and I never knew who he was. And I never knew that this was what he did before that. And it's just like, Jesus, so they've been just under my nose forever. It's just like, Jesus. Anyway, I am on genius.com on the About. I usually read that. So just a little bit about the song, just again, for me, mostly, I guess. But anyway, so it just says, a beautiful piece of art is how it starts off the bio. It is the first song and the first single from the band's 2nd album, Going Blank Again, and is often regarded as their staple creation. On release, it reached number 9 in the UK, their highest showing there. In the US, it reached the top 20 on the modern rock chart. So there you go. It also says in 2014, the song was ranked on NME's Greatest Songs Ever list at 273, and the album was ranked at 407 on their Greatest Albums list as well. So so they had the accolades, and I mean, again, I can see why. It's a song that just envelops you, and you just get lost in it. And I feel like that's just what everything is about with Ride. I feel like their music. Their mission was to make you feel. It is. I think they have reunited anyway, but their mission is to make you feel good. I mean, to make you feel happy in a way, because that's just what I've gotten from the two songs I've heard, just to make you feel good in a way. I don't know, just there's no darkness really with it. I mean, that's what I've gotten anyway. But I just wanted to say, as I talked about, with how the band was just it sounds like they were just kind of, showing other artists in the shoegaze, scene, as I said, what they could do and what they're all about. This is just a quote from Andy Bell, and I think, I might end it after this because this is already a long video, but the song was long too. Anyway, Andy Bell, he said, as much as Ride were four very withdrawn and quiet individuals, as people, we had that confidence, that belief in ourselves. Songs like Leave Them All Behind came purely from that belief to think bigger and think better and move forward, rather than be trapped in what was happening already. We were never about trying to ape the sound of our previous record. So I just love that they were always on to something new, always on to, the next song, the next album, whatever. Try not to ape the sound of our previous records, as he puts it. And so just shout out to the band here. And like I said, the bassist was so good here as well, so heavy. Steve, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I looked it up and I couldn't find, an interview really. So Steve on the bass here obviously was very heavy. Each part of the band was so obviously critical here. And like I said, Laws on the drums, influenced by, Keith for this, which is just great because I love Keith Moon myself. And obviously Mark and Andy on guitar and such. It's just, everything here was just so, it was a ride. And I just, it sounds so stupid to say, but dumb pun, but this was definitely a crazy 8-minute long ride, and just Jesus. And I also like here, I'm talking again, but how, because they were on Creation Records, and it says that the Creation Records founder, Alan McGee, who also signed Oasis, anyway, that he was really the one who said that this had to be their lead single. It says that he jumped out of his chair, and as the band put it, he jumped around like a demented gibbon. So there you go. He wanted it to be there, and the band said, what the hell? So anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for liking, subscribing, commenting, all that stuff. Really appreciate all the support. And I'll talk to you fine folks again very soon.